Right, there we go. We know what's happening now, don't we? JDM has spanked Bilal and he's saved the welterweight division. And the UFC are now going to keep Bilal further away from the title than frickin' Michael Chandler. With JDM as champ, we are now in for some all-time great in-octagon post-fight interviews. Jack is known to go into depth about how he feels, and he's got such an elegant way with his words. It's going to be a real treat. So onwards and upwards, and of course now we know that Ilia sadly isn't going to be taking on Islam anymore, which is a blow, because that was probably the best matchup I've ever seen. That matchup was more intriguing than Helen and Schmo's love life. And old Charlie Olives, Charles Oliveira, will get another chance at gold. I say gold because this is going to be for the lightweight interim belt. Yes, Maccabee has said that he's not going to play nice and he's not giving up his belt. But if a champ wants to play around in other weight classes, it's fairly standard procedure for the UFC to issue an interim belt. Also, Ilia said many times in interviews that he's fighting for a title whatever happens. I do believe that he's spitting facts, so obviously that means that Charles Oliveira versus Ilia Topuria will be for the interim belt. I don't mind it though. I actually quite like it. Think about it. Islam gets to go up. If he's successful, he gets to be a legitimate double champ. None of this technical double champ, but not active in both weight classes like a lot of them, but a true double champ, and probably at that point a really strong argument for GOAT status, certainly overtaking Khabib. Oh, and while we're talking about GOATs, GSP's got a quick question for all of you guys watching this that aren't subscribed.
Are you intoxicated?
Look, JDM versus Islam is also a really good matchup, so it's all fun and games there. And of course Ilia finds himself on a similar path. Winning even the interim bout at lightweight makes him a 2 weight class champ. But even more importantly, that would further set up the Islam-Ilia fight. But even better than the version that we just lost. Imagine Ilia after beating Volk, Max and then Charles, and then taking on Islam, who would then be an active double champ at that point. Can you imagine? Mate, at that point, I think it would be the biggest fight of all time. So again, that's all great. But then we have Charles Oliveira, one of the most dramatic and exciting title runs of all time, and one of the most beloved current fighters. Having him fighting Ilia for the interim belt means that we could see Oliveira back with a belt around his waist, which I'm pretty sure a lot of you are going to be really happy about. So let's take a quick look at Ilia versus Charles. Now obviously Ilia has looked world beating in his last handful of fights. He's so skilled and well rounded. It's a terrifying prospect for any Charles Oliveira fan. Look, I know that Islam made it look a little bit easy against Charles, but I don't think it's that cut and dry. I don't want to cope too hard, but Islam did a good job of messing with Charles and getting in his head for that fight, and the danger of Charles' fighting style of fighting in the pocket of chaos. Sadly, that comes with the fact that sometimes it just doesn't go your way. But since then, he showed massive improvements with head movement and defence in the Benil fight. He looked great in the Armand fight. He didn't get the decision, but it was a really close fight and he looked really good. And don't forget, Armand is top tier when it comes to lightweight. And then he looked great and noticeably improved again against Chandler. And also showed discipline in moments when before he would have been drawn into the fire. So that's my little Oliveira self-gaslighting session. But the truth is, Ilia is a terrible matchup for Charles. Very high jiu-jitsu, which softens Charles' biggest threat, and he's got incredible boxing with very tight defense and unforgiving knockout power. We've seen Ilia get hit and hurt on the feet before, and this is a new weight class with bigger guys with more power. Charles is known for having a lot of power for a lightweight. It's actually a close one. But if I was to put a large amount of money on this, in all honesty, I'd have to go with Ilia. It's just a safer bet. But I like both guys. Ilia winning does open up a lot more fun going forward, but I'm always going to be rooting for Charles. I mean, come on. The interim champ has a name. With Khamzat versus Dricus confirmed, now all we need is that domestic abuser to quit injecting himself for a minute and either defend or vacate, and then we're cooking on gas. Anyway, if you like this video, give us a sub, check out this playlist of recent bangers. I'll see you next time.